Wanted to give you guys a couple of announcements. One, guys, we are very, very close to the end of the school year. Today is Thursday, so it's the 13th. We have one more day this week, and then we only have 2 weeks, or technically like a week and a half before that final. So it is extremely close to final time. Now, some of you guys were not happy with your test. Honestly, you kind of expected your test to go poorly. For those of you guys who have been following along, doing your notebook, paying attention, your test was great because you guys have been paying attention and following along and doing your homework and assignments. So great job on you on that. And the test, like actually, like class averages were 70%. That's not bad for a test. That's pretty good. Um, but next week is the only week that we have that we are doing like our last notebook. Our last notes day is going to be Monday, and then we're going to have activities the 2 days after that. And then please, please, please make sure that you guys are here next Friday and Monday. So the 21st and the 24th, those are days that we're going to be doing our reviews, and that's the reviews for the final. So make sure you guys are here on those days because we're going to go like super deep into that final. All right. I think so. I want to say yes. I can check for you. 82%. So it's a B. So I would say yes. Um, Daniel, thank you. Yeah, some of you guys are finally like able to connect to your um, audio so you can hear me now. Um, yeah, so if you guys want to know what kind of score you guys got, like if it was like an A, a B, a C, whatever, um, you put your total. Um, Here, let me open up my notebook. So let's open up the notebook and then I can write it. Actually, I can do like a calculator. So say for instance, you guys got nope, um, 42. Click 42 in your calculator and then divide that by 50 because I was out of 50, and you'll get your percent. So any 80s, 90s are A's, 80s is B's, 70s is C's, 60s is D, and anything below 59 is F's. So whatever score you got, divide that by 50, and then you get your score. However, if your grade isn't what you want it to be, remember, do any of the assignments, like all your notebooks should be done, and then all the F's and the S's should be done. So F's and S's, activities that have those should be done. But let's start with our notebook. Um, Today is actually going to go fairly quickly. Good morning, Selena. Don't forget to give me your birthday. And then we're just about to get started. So awesome. Thank you. So today is going to go by extremely quickly because moving forward, there's nothing really that we are learning that's new. We are taking what we've been doing. For instance, we've been doing graphing, only now we're going to have two lines instead of just one. And we're seeing where they both cross each other. So where they cross is where I want my answer to be. That's going to be my answer. So we have notes. It's going to be 3 pages. And then we have a homework assignment. And then that's it. Pay attention to numbers, guys. 10 more Zoom days. That's it. And that's also including the 2 minimum days that you guys have during the last week of school. I still haven't gotten the schedule for those, so keep in mind. I'll let you guys know when I do get the schedule, and I'll probably post it here on the agenda so that you guys can see that. Um, Also, um, what was I gonna say? Also, monkeys and things. News wise, guys, as you guys are logging into your notebook, for those of you guys who are having issues logging in or like finding that notebook, for those of you guys who, all of you guys are 12 years or older, just so that you guys know, uh, it's not supposed to be that. Now there's going to be two docs. Thank you, David. Good morning. We're just about to get started. But they just okayed for kids 12 years and over to get their vaccines. So if your parents were waiting on that, start making those appointments. And a lot of places you can go and get them today. I uh, just made an appointment for my daughter to get her shot today. So she's very excited and nervous to go and get that. So yeah, it's getting closer, guys, to having a normal life again. All right. Um, the we're at basically anywhere. You guys just have to, like, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but I have the COVID thing here, and you just have to go to the Riverside website and just click on that and then log in. It says that 12 years or older and get started, and you just have to follow this along. Um, and it's like anywhere that gives you the Pfizer vaccine, you can get your shot if you're 12, if you're under the age of 18. If you are not, if you can't get any of the other vaccines, but the Pfizer one has less side effects. That's scary. I don't know. I mean, I feel more comfortable now that I've gotten my shot, and I got my shot back in March, I think, April, February, something like that. I don't remember. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. Um, and then they're saying that kids who are like 2 and up should be able to start getting their vaccine somewhere around September. That's what Pfizer is predicting, that they'll be asking for approval in September. So then at that point, I can start leaving my house because my son is 6. So I'm waiting for him. No, he's 7. Oh my God. My kids are getting old. All right. The first thing that we're going to do, guys, is we're going to do some bell work. I know that we normally don't do bell work, but we're going to do them today. We're going to do them tomorrow. I think I have one for Monday. And it's a couple of questions that you guys are going to have on your final. So this is a nice and easy way to get started on reviewing on some of those questions that you might have during your final. So look at the questions. I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes, the length of a song, to work on these two. I want you guys to work on them on your own, and then we'll go over it, and then we'll um, do the rest of this. Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. So I'm going to pause the video. So let's get started. Sorry. My cat was like angry. Don't you meow at me. All right, guys. So I put this here for you. Yeah, she's like asking for attention. Here. Yep, she's gone. Um, so we're going to look at this and graph it. Remember, this is our slope intercept form. So our number in front of our x is going to be our slope. Our b in the back is going to be our y-intercept. Uh-uh. Hey, Manny. We are starting our notebook. I'm putting that into chat right now. So click on that. Thank you, Manny. Um, so that we can get started. All right, so here's our slope. I'm going to use the colors that Ms. Gomez told us to use. So here is where we're going to get started. We're going to always start with this number in the back. This is a +2, so that I know I'm going to go up 1, 2, plot my point right there. Knowing that as well, I also know that that's going to be my y-intercept. So I can kill two birds with one stone doing it this way. This is my slope, the number in front of our x. So I can already put that my slope is going to be -3. I don't have to put this over 1, but this lets me know how I'm going to be moving to my next point. So since I have a negative here, I know I'm going to go down 3, and I'm going to go to the right 1. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go 1 to the right. Plot my point there. And I can keep doing that. 1, 2, 3, 1, plot my point again. I can even go backwards and go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 to the left. Plot my point there. And then I'm going to connect my dots. I'm going to make this red. So do I need to have these extra lines? I don't necessarily have to have these. But that's how we would graph just one line. And today it's all about graphing two of them. We also need to figure out, is it increasing or decreasing? So I want to write the word slope. Some of you guys have been putting your name and writing your name and seeing how your name is being moved. I love that. I think that's super cute. So like seeing your name pop is like super, super, super cute. So is this going up or is it going down? It's going down, so we're decreasing. Is it linear or exponential? Well, this is a line. So this is linear. Remember, we see the word line in the word linear. Exponent should have an exponent. So give me a thumbs up. We're good with question 1. Yeah, so someone's saying, oh, you can also know that by looking at the sign. So looking at this -3, since it's negative, it's going to be decreasing. So yeah, great tip on that. I actually almost forgot to mention that. So yeah, great tip. It's like you can look at this and instantly know if you're increasing or decreasing. All right, let's look at the second question, and I'll give you guys a second to like take a screenshot in a little bit once we're done with this question. Question 2 brings us back to first semester. We were solving at that point and we were distributing. So we're going to distribute the 2 to the x. 2 times x gives me a 2x. And the part that most people forget is that we also need to multiply that 2 to the -1. And it's the whole piece, that sign with the number. So 2 times -1 gives me a negative. 2 times 1, 2. I'm going to use a different color to show you guys that everything else is just coming down. Nothing else is happening to these guys. What you can do, since I have that X all by itself, I'm going to put a 1 right there to kind of show that it's an invisible one. And I'm going to look at everything on this side and go, okay, what can I combine? So do I have two X's or do I have two numbers with no X's? Well, I have a 2x here, and I also have an x right here, a negative 1x. So I can combine those two. 2x minus 1x. So 2 minus 1, 2 minus 1 gives me a 1x. We are not doing the opposite sign because it's on the same side. We're just adding or subtracting like normal. Everything else, though, just comes down. So I'm just going to draw them the same. Now you can leave this as 1x or you can erase it. It's up to you because it's a 1. If it was a 2, then we would leave it and we would have to divide. Now that I have the x by itself, now I can figure out what I need to do to get rid of this negative 2. So what's the opposite of a negative? That would be a positive 2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And what do I get? I get my x because nothing happened to it. Negative 2 plus 2 goes away. This is a 0. And 16 plus 2 is 18. So what's my answer? My answer is 18. And that's it. So you guys will have a question like this on your final. You'll have a question like the top one and the bottom one. So during the bell work, it'll give you guys examples of some of the questions that you guys will have on your final. So give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready to move on. Clap if you guys need more time. Awesome, awesome. I don't see any claps, so I'm going to move on. We're going to be on page 2. If you guys want to follow along with me with the notes, you guys can click on the notes right here, and it'll open up the notes for today. It even has some extra examples for you guys, or I think this will be for tomorrow. But we're going to be moving all of these pieces up. Some pieces, like the graphs here, I'm going to draw, but you guys can move these pieces up or you can draw them instead. It's going to be up to you guys. But I'm going to zoom in a lot. And we're going to be talking about 3 different things. So we're going to be talking about the different types of solutions that we can have. So give me 1 second. I want the pen color to be blue. All right. So there's going to be 3 different types of solutions that you guys can get when we're looking at systems of equations. So system of equations just means that we're going to have 2 different equations. So y equals blah, 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 and then y equals blah, blah, blah. And we're trying to see, are they going to give me 1 solution? Are they going to give me no solutions? Or are they going to give me infinitely many solutions? So what does that even mean? 1 solution looks like this. When we look at them as a graph, they're going to make like an X, and this point right here is going to be our solution. So I don't care that you guys drew one graph. I don't care that you drew the other line. The part that's going to give you guys credit is going to tell me what this point is. So if I wrote down the point, this would be negative 1, 1, 2, negative 2. And this would be my solution. That would be my answer. All of this, drawing the 2 lines, is just showing me work, but not the actual solution. Now, when we have an example of no solutions, the graph will look like this. These are called parallel lines. You might have covered them before we went off on COVID leave. It just means that parallel lines will never cross. Since they never cross, I can't have any solution because the solution is where they intersect, where they cross. So parallel lines never cross, so I'm never going to have a solution for them. And then the last one, this looks like I only have one line when in fact I have two. It's just that one of these lines is on top of the other line. So um, because I have one on top of the other, it's letting me know that it's infinitely many solutions because every single one of these little dots that make up this line is on top of the other one. Hey, Jennifer, can you give me your birthday one more time? So looking at your notebook, I'm going to drag those pieces over. All I'm doing is I'm dragging over um, the graphs themselves. So that's a one solution. Thank you, Jennifer. This one right here is infinitely many. Oops, too far. And then the last graph that I need to pull is parallel lines. So give me a thumbs up. You guys are good with those three. Give me a clap if you guys need some more time to move those pieces. Okay, awesome. So far, again, we're just talking about the different types of pieces that we are going to have. We have one solutions because they cross at one point. These don't cross ever, so no solutions. And then this crosses infinitely many times because they're on top of each other. All right. Now, there are some ways for us to be able to figure out what solutions we're going to have without doing very much work. So if you guys can remember some of these clues or some of these hints, it'll make life a lot easier as you guys are doing systems. So remember, when it comes to a one solution, it's two lines that intersect at one point. So next week, when we're doing something called substitution, we'll get something like this where we get x equals some number and y equals some number. So this is for next week. But again, two lines intersect at one point. Here is our clue when we're looking at the equations. Our equations are going to have the different slopes. If they have different slopes, then we're pretty sure that we're going to have a one solution. So I want us to put those pieces first because I want us to pay attention to that. So the clue is that they're going to have different slopes and that it's going to be x and y. So give me a thumbs up once you have those two pieces, and we're going to go step by step. Awesome, awesome. When it comes to no solutions, parallel lines, we're going to see that they're parallel lines when they're on graphs. However, when we're doing substitution or elimination, but we're not going to cover elimination this year. When we're doing substitution, we'll see that one number is said that it's equal to another number, but it's not true. For instance, I could have 3 equals 5. Is that true? No, that's not true. Or it could show 3 equals negative 3. Is that true? No, that's not true. I can have 4 equals negative 6. Is that true? No, that's not true. So all of these are examples of parallel lines when we're doing substitution for next week. It's just saying whenever you're solving your equation, you'll have one number equals another number, and it's not going to be true. If it's not true, you can stop right there and just say no solution, parallel lines. So clues, whenever you're looking at the equation, is that both of them are going to have the same slope, But if you look at the y-intercept, those are going to be different. So same slope, but different y-intercepts. If you look at this, you can automatically just say no solution. So again, it is beneficial for you guys to memorize some of these clues. This one, unfortunately, when you see this and you're like, oh, it's one solution, you still need to solve it because you need to know what point it's at. But when it comes to the other two, all you would do is look at both of the slopes and the y-intercept and be like, oh, I know this. This is no solution. So let's move those pieces. So again, parallel lines will never intersect. And same slope, but we're going to know that they're different y-intercepts. So thumbs up if we're ready for that. Clap if you need more time. Awesome, awesome. The last one, two lines are the exact same. Looks like only one line was graphed. So like you guys had in this example, it only looks like we have one graph, but in reality, it's one graph on top of another graph. So what is your, so how would this look like for substitution? You would have something like this, where it's 0 equals 0, or 3 equals 3, or -2 equals -2. It's a true statement. So it'll be the exact same number on both sides. Once you see that both sides are the same number, you can say, oh, that's infinitely many solutions. To figure out if the graphs are the same, both equations are going to be solved, one's going to be solved like y equals, and probably one's going to be solved like this, where you have to simplify it. Now, if we see this has a 2, a 4, and an 8, I can simplify this by dividing each one of these by 2. And when I do that, 2 divided by 2, this gives me x, which is the same as down here. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Again, that gives me the same thing as down here. And 2 goes into 8 4 times, which is the same one here. So it'll look, the two equations will look identical. It just won't look identical right away. So pull this up and you'll see more examples of all of this. If you guys are confused right now going, wait a second, I have no idea what you're really talking about, we're going to spend the next week covering this. So, and you only, I think, have like 3 questions on the final on this. And then the rest of it is, yeah, here's a screenshot. Or did you want a screenshot of this? No problem. So if you guys need to take a screenshot of this page, you guys can take a screenshot of this page. Give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready with page 2, and we can move on to page 3. Give me a clap if you guys need more time on page 2, on this page. Awesome. All right, let's go on to page 3. And honestly, I'm going to stop using the presentation at this point, just because it'll be easier for us to do it on here. So what are you going to be able to do on page 3? I can solve a system of equation by graphing. There are 3 ways to solve systems. One's by graphing, which we'll do today and tomorrow. One's by substitution, which is what we're going to do next week. And technically, there's a third one called elimination. However, because of COVID, we don't have time to be able to do that one. So we're not doing it this year. You should do it maybe another year. But honestly, as long as you can do it either by graphing or substitution, you should be able to figure out the equation for anything. So, and then how do we solve systems of equations by graphing? You graph each line on the same graph, and the point of intersection between the two graphs is your solution. So we're gonna plot both, like solve both of these, graph them both, and then wherever they cross, that's going to be our answer. All right, so we're going to be graphing these. Technically, all the graphs are down here, guys. So if you want, you can pull these up if you guys want. I lost you guys for a second. Sorry about that. Hold on. What in the world happened? And I'm still recording too, which is weird. Apparently, my internet was like, no, it's not going to happen. Can you see my screen? Can you guys give me a thumbs up? Can you see my screen? Okay. All right, so like I said before, technically your graphs are down here. You guys can pull them up to the correct spot. I'm going to draw them just so that I can, again, reiterate how to graph. But what you guys, like I said, you guys could pull this up and then put your picture right here. But again, I'm not going to do that because I want to draw my graphs. So hopefully you guys are all okay with that. All right, we're going to graph these. I'm going to use the same color scheme as Ms. Gomez always did. Here's my -4. That's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start here at 0, 0, count down 1, 2, 3, 4, plot that point right there. And then use my slope. This means I go up 3 and to the right 1. And again, paying attention to my hints, I have 3 and a -1/2. So seeing that my slopes are different, it should mean that I have one solution. So I should be looking for a point. So let's see if that's what happens. So up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Plot my point. 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And I'm going to connect my dots. This one is actually very important that you guys are putting them through that corner because we're looking for intersections. So where they both cross, make that cross. So it is going to be important. So just because we did one of these does not mean that we don't have to do the other. So let's do the next one. I'm going to do purple and green. So I'm going to use purple for my y-intercept. So 1, 2, 3, plot my point right there. And then I'm going to switch to green. This negative means I'm going to go down 1 and 2 to the right. So from this 3, I'm going to go down 1, 2 to the right, up, down 1, 2 to the right. I could also go up and 2 to the left, up, 2 to the left, and then connect my dots. And I see that they intersect right here. So what point is that? So that's at, again, I'm going to count at 0, go over. So 1, 2, that's at 2. And then go up from there. 1, 2, that's at 2. So looking here, my graph intersected at points 2, 2. So I have one solution at 2, 2. Again, I could have grabbed this guy and put it there. And there you go. So again, same as what we've been doing. We're now just having two graphs versus one, and we're seeing where they both intersect. So give me a thumbs up once you're ready. Clap if you guys need more time. Awesome, awesome. So again, I'm going to graph these. You can go underneath and just pull the graph and put it here. I'm going to try and figure out, okay, I'm looking at both of my slopes. Both of my slopes are the same, and looking at my y-intercepts are different. So technically, I should have parallel lines. So this should be a no solution. So let's double check and make sure that that's the case. I have a +1. So I'm going to go here, go up 1, plot my point. And then my slope is, 2 over 1. So that means up 2 and 1 to the right. So I'm going to go up 2, 1, 2, 1 to the right, plot my point. Up 2, 1 to the right, plot my point. Or I can go down 2, 1 to the left, plot my point. Down 2, 1 to the left, plot my point. Down 2, 1 to the left, plot my point. And then connect my dots. Let me erase some of my steps. And then I can do the next one. So purple, I'm at -2 now. So start at 0, 1, 2, plot my point. And then again, I have 2 over 1. So up 2, 1 to the right. So up 2, 1 to the right. Up 2, 1 to the right. Up 2, 1 to the right. Or down 2, 1 to the left. And like we had predicted, it is going to be parallel lines. So we can say both lines have the same slope, so they are parallel. What does that mean? It means I have no solution. Why is it no solution? Because my lines aren't touching each other. There's no points that they're going to touch each other. They're just going to stay parallel forever. Give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready. Clap if you guys need more time. I see someone clapping, so I'll give you more time. Thank you guys for those of you guys participating and doing your work. That's awesome. For those of you guys clapping, let me give me a thumbs up once you're ready, please. And if you did give me a thumbs up, give me a thumbs up again. Okay, cool. All right. The last one, again, it's always going to be one of the, and it's not always. Sometimes these are also, you have to convert them. But sometimes we're going to have to do extra work. So see how this one is solved, y equals mx plus b. That one's good. This one, however, is not solved. So I need to get rid of this 2. So whatever number this number is, we're going to be dividing by that number. So if it was a -3 or a -2, we would divide by that number. So what does that give me? It gives me what? Well, I'll just pull it from the bottom. So we're going to divide that. So there's a piece right there that we're just going to pull up slowly. Yeah, there we go. See, it kind of looks like they're together. So notice this has a 2, this has a 2, this has a plus 1, this has a plus 1. So they're the exact same. If this was a plus and this is a minus, that would be parallel lines because their slopes would be the same, but the y-intercepts would be different, even though they're both one's positive and one's negative. So let's plot this. I have a plus 1, so I'm going to plot that at 1. This is over 1. So that's up to 1 to the right. So up to 1 to the right, up to 1 to the right, down to 1 to the left, down to 1 to the left. I can do it that way. And then connect my dots. And then if I do the exact same thing for the other one, this is a plus 1 now. So it's going to be on top of that plus 1. And this is over 1. So again, up to 1 to the right. So up to 1 to the right, plot my point, up to 1 to the right, plot my point, and notice it's landing exactly on top of the other one. Oops. So there we go. So both lines are identical, same line, and infinitely many solutions. So again, if one's on top of the other one, that's going to be infinitely many solutions because there's so many dots that are on top of each other. This one only has one dot on top of each other. This will never have dots on top of each other. So take a screenshot, give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready. Clap if you guys need more time. All right, that is it for notes for today. We will finish tomorrow's with page 4 and more practice on graphing. Speaking of practice with graphing, let's go to our agenda again. And we do have a homework assignment. It is going to be on ClassKick. So for those of you guys just wanting to switch over, I'll put that into chat. There you go. I'm going to type in my name. And what you're going to be doing is one of these gophers in all of these are going to be your solution. So one of them is going to be your solution. So if you guys draw your X and your X is in the middle somewhere, then no, that's not the right spot. It has to hit one of these gophers. All right. To help you guys out, oops, I'm going to label these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I will do one of these for you guys. So put it into chat. Which one would you guys like me to solve? The one that has the most requests, I'll do that one. Or if only one person requests and no one else does, then I'll do that one. So which one would you guys like me to do? I have one request already. I have two requests for different ones. I need one more person, unless it's going to be all of you guys want different ones. So I have a 2, a 3, and a 5. So who's going to break that tie? I have 2, 3, or 5. Out of those three, which one would you guys like to do? 2, 3, or 5? Okay. I have more for 3s. So we're going to do 3. For those of you guys who didn't get yours, I'm sorry. All right. But again, this one, 2, and 3 are almost identical. Only this is -1/3 and this is -1/2. So these are almost identical to each other, guys. So let's do 3. And we're going to do it the exact same way as what we've been doing. Look at the slopes. Are they the same or are they different? Both of these are different. So I know I'm going to have a 1 solution. So I'm going to have it like this. Let's look at our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is -1. So I'm going to plot that point right there first. Oh, so we might have this as an answer. And then my slope is going to be -4/1. So what does that, not -4, 4/1. So that means I'm going to go up 4 and then 1 to the right. So from this point, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 to the right. Oh, it might be that gopher. I have to go, I can't go again up, so let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 to the left. And then let's connect our dots. Let's change that color to red. And then let's do that again. Do you have to use 2 different colors? No. I like to use 2 different colors because it lets me see that there's 2 graphs. So it helps me. So -1. Ooh, we both start at -1. This means I'm going to go down 1 and 3 to the right. So from here, down 1, 3 to the right, 1. So down, then 1, 2, 3, and then plot my point right there. I can't do it again, so I'm going to do the opposite. So up 1, 1, 2, 3. So all the gophers were actually touched. However, one of those gophers is the correct answer. So looking at those gophers, which gopher was crossed twice? I don't want to say touched because then that sounds dirty. Which of those gophers was crossed twice or intersected twice? The middle one. So this middle one is going to be our answer. So I'm going to highlight that. That's the answer that we're looking for. So I did not go left or right from my 0. All I did was I went down. So I didn't go left and right, so that's going to be 0. But I did go down 1. So this is going to be at -1. So what's my answer? My answer is at 0, -1. 0 because I didn't go left or right. It's on our y-axis. And then we went down 1, so it's going to be -1. So that's the answer to that one. All right, guys. Um, you guys have another like 15 minutes. Your exit ticket should be up. It's not. It should have been. Your exit ticket is now up. Almost, maybe, possibly. There we go. So your exit ticket is up. Use the rest of this time, the next 15 minutes, to finish up today's homework assignment. Um, it's only 5 more questions. It shouldn't take you guys too long. Tomorrow we'll finish up with the notebook. Tomorrow there is no homework. So if you finish up the homework now and you catch up on your assignments, you'll have a very easy weekend. Or if you guys aren't happy with your grade, take this weekend to really catch up on those assignments that you guys might need in order to improve your grade. But that's it, guys. If